are great. And then we're going to do why custom projects are bad, right? So why custom projects are great. The unique advantage of custom projects. Custom projects stand out for their ability to deliver tailor-made solutions that precisely meet the client's needs. They offer a level of personalization and flexibility that productized services can't match, allowing for creative and innovative outcomes. The bespoke approach can lead to higher client satisfaction and loyalty, as well as potential for premium pricing. Embrace the uniqueness of custom projects and the competitive edge they provide. Why custom projects are bad. The hidden costs of custom projects. So while custom projects offer tailored solutions, they come with hidden costs, right? The lack of standardization can lead to inefficiencies, scope creep, and unpredictable timelines, making it challenging to scale and manage resources effectively. Custom projects often require more time and effort, which can strain your team and impact profitability. Consider the long-term implications before diving into the world of custom projects, right? So this gives you two reasons why custom projects are great and why custom projects are bad. And the next one will be why productized services are great and why productized services are bad. And so we've just got to think of these things because you can always find both angles. And so it's not that something is all good and something else is all bad. You know, that's what I'm saying here. These ads popping up, which I don't have anything against the people, but I know where they're coming from. But it's like, learn how to stop working with cheap one-off projects as a videographer and land more consistent clients. It's these kinds of things that are leaving out the nuance. And again, I know what they're trying to achieve, but by and large, they're pushing certain agendas and they're shining a spotlight on the good about really at times what they're trying to sell versus the potential bads of that. And so I have no agenda. And whether you do custom projects, one-off projects, recurring revenue, non-recurring revenue, productized services, non-productized services, all I want you to do is not burn your business to the ground because a guru or somebody online you listen to, even me, take what I have with a grain of salt. But again, I don't have an agenda of selling you a particular way of thinking or doing. I am simply here to provide perspective and nuance to the different things that are out there. And this is a really fun series here, probably breaking these up to different videos as well, to really start shining a light on these differences and things that exist. So we stop. I know I've fallen trap to hearing these things, and the people provide so much conviction that I forget that there's potentially another perspective. And again, we wouldn't appreciate the sun if there was no darkness. So there's always a shadow side to the light side of everything. And so we've got to look at that before we make decisions or before we poo-poo on a particular way of doing something, right? You know, there is typically, not always, a greater chance for a person to charge more if there's a level of customization to something than if everything is like lock, stock, and barrel, no customization. It's very cookie cutter. So at times it can be the blend of two worlds, right? How do we blend custom and blend productization? Where are the repeatable steps in what you're doing that can kind of be productized, right? So I looked at my career, and when I hear this, like, productize yourself, you know, as if there's no human element to it. I think that's also what's making the originality go away, because everybody's just buying people's templates and then they're just like carbon copies of everybody else. But here's what happened is I became a guy in the wedding industry where I did something called the same day edit. And when I've now reshifted my mind around what I did there was a version of productized service, meaning when you came to me, I had reached a point where my company was called Geb's Total Video. So literally I did everything for everybody. And the truth of the matter is that in doing everything for everybody, you know, I was kind of this, I was really good at certain things and not so good at other things, but I would attempt to say yes because I felt that I could do it. And it's like the fish believing that it can fly. It doesn't mean it might not be able to do a little bit and be out of the water for a little bit, but it's probably not going to do that well. So there was things I became naturally inclined to do better at than other things. And then when I leaned into that and said, I love this and my clients love this, I'm just going to do this. I got away from the uber customization of like, you just tell me. It's the concept I talk about, order taker, master chef. So order takers aren't very custom. I could argue they are custom because it's just like, you tell me what you want and then they'll do whatever you want. right? And they don't have any opinions or anything. They just simply take orders. They're going to get paid the least and value the least because you're not really using your brain to provide input. And if I can go to anybody and just tell them what I want done, I mean, some people might do better than others, but at the end of the day, it's not as valuable as somebody who's an expert coming in and go, I like that, right? And you kind of play with what they have. And so for me, it was like I did certain things a certain way, but every wedding was unique. So there was still a custom element because the uniqueness of that project versus we do everything the same and we just slap your name on it. And so there's ways to blend custom, productization, being specific, finding the repeatable patterns and not doing those every time. Where if you're sending a certain document every time, how can you automate that part of the process, right? There's certain things that maybe it's kind of templatized and there's a little bit you customize, right? And so there are ways to play with this, but again, it's not all or nothing. It's not custom projects entirely are bad and productized services are the only way to go.